Here before the new year. Okay, that's the mantra of Heuser Hearing Institute. Brett Bachmann joins me once again. And Brett, here before the new year. Don't get me wrong, it's catchy. I like it. But to me, if you've been procrastinating about your hearing, if your TV's up loud, if you can't hear conversations so you don't participate, ooh, that's a bad thing. Yeah. You can do something about it. And I think you'll find that your life improves, right?
Well, I mean, yes, if you can hear your loved ones and they're actually talking to you still, which is a good thing, then you want to be able to hear what they're saying. And so, you know, especially around the holidays when there's all kinds of warm and friendly celebrations, and, you know, I think that being able to hear what your loved ones are telling you and so that you can communicate with them is something that is what we all aspire to wanting to be able to do.
You know, and this is the time of year when maybe the procrastination, it's time to stop. Put it on the front burner because you may have a health spending account. If you're familiar with that, then bear with me because a lot of people may not even know they have these accounts. They're available to them and they're going to go to waste. So tell us a little bit, what exactly is a health spending account?
Well, a health spending account is something during the year you can put money aside tax-free. And now with health spending accounts, they can roll over.
Okay, good.
But with flexible spending accounts, you have to use it or lose it. And a lot of people, you know, towards the end of the year, they have some left over, and if they don't spend it, it goes away. And so what we found is towards the end of the year, check those accounts, look at what your hearing health care needs may be. You know, primarily, I want you to just come in and get a hearing test. All right, we'll work out everything we need to do if it comes to you needing a prescription for a hearing device, but that hearing test is the primary reason that you need to come in and make sure that there's nothing going wrong. And that's what we do. But towards the end of the year, we do get really busy when it comes to people wanting to utilize that for their medical device on hearing aids.
Well, that's good. Well, then you're getting the message out, you know, about how important it is, and it is related to cognitive health as well when it comes to hearing, because as you said, if you're not in a conversation, you're not using your brain, and then here comes dementia and those sort of things that we all want to stay away from. Okay, these spending accounts, you mentioned the flex spending and the health spending. Okay, so what kind of things do they cover? Does that vary?
Any medical expense that you have. So hearing devices or any kind of services that we provide, that's all covered for those over and above. So like insurance covers the test generally. But if you have co-pays, it'll cover that. If you have a medical device that is not covered by your insurance plan, then it will pay for your out-of-pocket expenses of that. And then we also have a financing company that we work with if somebody really wants to upgrade to the top-end hearing device. It just depends on their lifestyle. You know, and that's always the patient choice. We say this is what you can do, this is what you need, this is the extra bells and whistles if you want them, and they get to be able to choose what they want.
Let's let you and I talk a little bit about red flags. I mentioned, you know, and I make fun of myself because I find myself turning up the TV a little bit too loud. I do find myself having to get a little closer.
For the last 4 years, you've been turning up the TV.
I know, and so I'm one of those who must really quit procrastinating. But I also find myself, you know, either asking somebody to repeat what they said or leaning in further than probably comfortable for some people. So, you know, kind of leaning into the conversation. So, what other,
especially now with COVID,
red flags do you see? Like, it's probably different with children. Like, for instance, if you have a child and you suspect they may have hearing issues, how do you know? What do you look for?
For infants, it's whether or not they're making their communication milestones.
Okay.
You know, but there's testing that we can do, and we do a lot of the newborn hearing screening and testing at Norton Children's Hospital. We work in their NICU and in the oncology wing because people who survive cancer can also lose their hearing because of the chemo drugs. But, you know, whether or not they're making their milestones, their teachers will be a good indication and say, hey, I think that there's a difficulty here, it's something you should test. And when you're in your pediatrician, you can also say, I'm suspecting that my child might have hearing loss, and they can all kind of direct you in the right way. And then if you want to know for sure, you could just call Heuser and we can test them.
So there may be some good news here in the information you give me. In that, so my wife hasn't talked to me in 3 weeks. She has a hearing issue, right? It's not that she's mad at me. It's not that I've done anything wrong. She just doesn't hear well. Let's assume it's that, right?
I think we could assume that, or you're not hearing what she's saying.
Oh. Well, ooh. Wow, you gave that a little twist there. That was a nice little spin, Brad.
I'm trying to help the wives out here.
Sure.
I mean, my wife is an audiologist. If I took your side versus her side, I would hear it at home. So we just don't do that.
You're a smart guy, Brad. Okay. Heuser Hearing Institute, you can feel good about those dollars as well, because I mentioned children, and I think we all are, that's number one concern is like the health of our children. And you guys have been doing this for years, is these dollars go towards helping children in need and perhaps children who cannot afford to get help with their hearing, right?
Correct. So any revenue that we make out of clinical operations goes towards the programs at the schools, our education programs, our information programs that we talk about, hearing damage and why kids shouldn't be wearing those earbuds at level 10, and all those areas. So that's what I find is awesome about running a 501c3 or nonprofit. It doesn't mean that you don't make revenue, but what it means is that you get to take the revenue that you have and put it right back into the community to support the community, which in turn is when you come to Heuser, you're supporting your community just by coming to Heuser.
Wow.
I mean, it's a beautiful synergy.
I love that. And I think sometimes people assume, if you're a nonprofit, you probably don't have access to state-of-the-art technology. That is not the case at all. You guys have the very best of the best. In fact, you're respected all around the country for the technology that you bring to Louisville, right?
We do. We do research and development with one of the largest hearing aid manufacturers in the world to look at what they're designing in the future, how they're changing their programming and their algorithms to improve what that hearing device can do for your overall health. And we use a lot of different continuing trainings for all of our audiologists, our doctors of audiology that kind of focus on that, and we've always done research. That was part of when we opened. We opened in '48 with a school, and then in 2000 when we did the Institute, it has a research arm, it has an education arm with early intervention and school audiology, and then it has clinical operations, which does so much more than just hearing. I mean, just hearing, but we do balance disorders, vestibular audiology, which is vertigo. We do a lot of different things at Heuser. We try and make it a one-stop shop for anybody that comes in that has any kind of ear or balance disorder.
All right. I hear the passion and the knowledge as well. If you need to make an appointment, is that the number? Is that the website, Brett, everyone should go to right now? Because here before the new year, right? That's the goal.
That's what we want you to do. And we'll do it. We're filling up fast, but we'll always try and work to get you in everything during emergencies. But just get your hearing tested. That's the most important. Whether you do it through us or anybody else, having that baseline is super important.
All right, Brett Bachmann, thank you once again. Happy holidays to you and your family
as well.
All right, here we go. You may have noticed we talk a lot about